Hi guys, hope you're doing well. So recently I had done a battery drain test of this iPhone 12 mini in which I had just tried to kill the battery of this phone by just using it recklessly and actually got a good response on that. So if you haven't checked that video out already, do check it out. I'll put the link in the card above. Some of you in the comment section were asking me how to improve the battery life on this phone because many of you have already bought it and are actually not getting good battery life. Myself on the other hand, I'm easily able to get through the entire day. So in this video basically we'll have three sections. First is some common tips and tricks that you can use to actually improve the battery life on this phone. The other section is to help you preserve the battery health of this phone if you are planning on using this phone for more than 2 to 3 years. And the third section will basically just be about how I am able to get through the entire day with this phone. So without wasting any further time, let's get started. Now the first thing I would say, and I was already telling this in the comment section before, and I really can't stress how much this is helpful, is about using dark mode, because I have literally observed this in my daily usage that just by using dark mode I just observed the difference and I was able to get about extra screen on time of about 1 to 1.5 hours, so which is actually a pretty great deal. So to turn on dark mode, go into settings, display and brightness, and then you can turn on the dark mode. The best thing about iOS dark mode is that it forces the dark mode on all the apps. So this is actually a great thing because in Android you have to go into developer settings and then force the dark mode, otherwise it does not turn on dark mode for all the apps. You can go into control center and then you can select dark mode settings also. So if you pull in the control center, if you see I have the dark mode turned on. So this is actually really handy. If you suddenly decide to go out, then you can just pull in your control center and just turn on the dark mode. Now the next tip goes hand in hand with this dark mode thing is that use a dark wallpaper. So if you're not already using inbuilt wallpapers provided by iOS, if you see all these have these circles here. So basically they have, if you turn on dark mode then they automatically go a bit dark. But if you're not using any of these wallpapers and if you're using a bright wallpaper, then the dark mode will not help that much because the pixels won't be turned off and there won't be much battery saving. Hence I would suggest that if you want, you can use a cool lock screen or wallpaper that I am using, which already has a lot of black in it, so all these pixels are turned off, so you will save a lot of battery on this. Now the next tip is to actually not use 5G. So if you go in mobile data and mobile data options, then I am not living in a 5G region, so I don't have 5G support here, so hence there is no 5G enabled. But if you're in a 5G region and your iPhone supports that 5G, then you will either need to turn that auto setting on where it automatically downgrades to 4G when you don't have 5G network coverage. Otherwise you can just switch to 4G or LTE, and then that will save a lot of battery. And I think this is one of the main factors that I am able to get through the entire day because I'm not using 5G. Now the next tip is to go into battery, and don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to compromise on your usage because you've already paid tons of money for this phone. You shouldn't be needing to compromise on any of your usage. But the way how these statistics help is, so do not go by the screen on time because this is very deceiving. This is actually showing the last 24 hours screen on time. So this is not that useful, but if you see this, WhatsApp is having some background activity and you can see the app which is using the maximum percentage of battery and which is also running in background a lot. And if you just tap anywhere on this, you will also see the battery usage, like Instagram is used for 2 hours 31 and it has also used 11 minutes in the background, WhatsApp 42 minutes in the background. So guys, these things like WhatsApp, I don't suggest turning off the background usage because that is very useful for us. We need the app to refresh in the background. But for other apps, for example Instagram, suppose your Instagram usage is just like scrolling through the feed and you're not that cared about background refreshing, so you can go into that app and turn off the background refresh. Your background app refresh option is there, you can turn that off. Otherwise, if you have a lot of apps that you simply don't mind turning the background app refresh off, then you can just go to general and here background app refresh option is there, so you can just toggle the apps that you don't want to be processed in background. So this will actually affect a lot in your battery life. And the next thing, I won't recommend that much, but still, see, even mails are refreshed in the background. So if you go into mail counts, fetch new data, so if you select any particular mailbox like iCloud, so there are actually these different options: push, fetch and manual. So push is basically whenever you get the emails on the server, they will be pushed to your phone. So this actually consumes a lot of battery. Fetch is like you can set the intervals, like when you want to check for new emails. And manually is like like whenever you open the iCloud, it will sync with the server and fetch new emails. So turning on this manual setting is also good, but I particularly do not recommend this because a lot of us have a lot of important emails also. So it's better if you're expecting an important email, then do not turn this off. But if you just have a lot of junk emails that are coming and probably your mail usage is not that much, then you can turn this to manual. Now the next thing is to go into sound and haptics, and you can turn off the vibrations. So if you see vibrate on ring, vibrate on silent, you can toggle these off because vibration also takes a lot of battery. And it's also better if it's okay with you, then always keep it on silent mode, because even the ringer that is there, if the speaker rings, then it will consume some battery. But these are some of the compromises that you have to make. That's why I am not a lot in favor of these, but still these are some of the tips and tricks that I thought I should mention, and if they are okay with you, you can use them. Now the next tip is to use lesser widgets, because widgets also refresh in the background, like news is there, like if these widgets are there, so widgets can refresh in background, so they might also consume a lot of battery. So you can reduce the widget usage. You can just keep the minimum number of widgets that you require, probably a calendar or a weather or some news. Now the next tip is to keep the brightness as low as possible whenever it's possible for you, whenever it's okay with you, especially indoors. If you require less brightness, then keep it on less brightness, because that also helps in the battery life. Now the next tip is a bit vague, I would say, but it's about your phone usage habits. So if you see, iPhones have really great standby time. Like I have literally observed this, and in the night when I'm not using my iPhone and when I check in the morning, the battery does not drop to even about 1%. So this is actually really impressive standby time. So probably this is a good habit to develop of not checking your phone again and again unless you have any notifications and unless you want to use it, because that also reduces your phone screen on time and your phone usage also. It's better for your health and for your eyes as well. Again, do not compromise on your usage, but still it's a good habit to develop. So guys, that was the practical things that I could suggest to improve battery life on this. Now let's move on to the next segment, that is preserving battery health on this device. So for that, go to settings, battery health. If you see this maximum capacity 100%. So as it's a new iPhone, it has the maximum capacity now, but probably 1 or 2 years down the line, the battery maximum capacity might reduce, and especially now that I'm using a fast charger with this, that also depletes the battery health more. So the first tip to improve or preserve the maximum capacity on this phone is to keep this optimized battery charging turned on. So if you're using a fast charger, so what it will do is it will charge quickly up to 80% of battery. After that, it will slow down, because that is to preserve the battery health of this device. But if you're in a hurry, then you can turn this off as well, but that is not recommended. Now the next tip is to use a slow charger. So if you're usually at home and you are not requiring fast charging that much, if you're not in a hurry to go out or somewhere, then it's better to use a slow charger usually, because that will actually preserve the battery capacity by the battery health of this device. But again, I am not one of those persons who would compromise, especially after spending so much on a phone. I am actually using a fast charger and I'm living my life. Now the next thing is about charge cycles. So how the batteries technically work, the lithium ion batteries, so they have a minimum number of charge cycles. After that, the battery health depletes. Hence, in order to take advantage of this, what you can do is do not let the battery percentage drop to 0. Especially do not wait after it goes down to like 15 or 10%. Do not let it go below that. And also when you're charging, do not charge till 100%. You can just charge till 90 or 95%, because that actually preserves the charge cycle. So if you're not charging from 0 to 100, then you're not utilizing an entire cycle, and that is why it will be beneficial for your battery health. Now the next segment is, how do I get good battery life on this phone? So the answer is, I do nothing. So this dark wallpaper, this dark theme also that you're seeing, that is just for this video, just to show you guys on what things you can do. I'm And because I'm usually at home, so I'm not that much worried. But to be honest, without doing anything special also, as this is a new device, it has the maximum capacity of its battery now, I'm not actually facing any issues, and I'm able to go through the entire day without any hiccups. And actually my usage does not include a lot of games and audio. Also I use the wired earpods. Mostly I use Wi-Fi because as now we are mostly at home, but outside I do use cellular, but that too 4G, not 5G, and that too for just a couple of hours. My usage usually includes social media, photo and video editing for my YouTube and my Instagram, and also recording video, and nowadays I'm also using Dolby Vision HDR. So when I'm doing such a heavy usage and also editing videos on this iPhone, then I am getting not that much of an impressive battery life that I'm getting daily, because video editing, video recording, all these are heavy tasks that you can perform on any phone actually. So this depletes a lot of battery life, but that I'm not doing daily. So daily I'm able to get almost more than 24 hours. But when I am not doing all those heavy tasks, when I'm just using normally for my social media stuff, or just for phone calls, just for WhatsApp, or just casually taking some photos if I go outside, then I'm able to easily get through the day. Like for example, if I go outside, if I click a lot of photos, if I shoot some videos, and if I'm using cellular data, then I have observed that my battery goes down by about like 60%. It remains, it goes down by about 40%. So that is actually pretty acceptable for me as well, because when I come home after half a day or so, then I can put it on charge. So of course, all the things, all the tips and tricks that I mentioned, it's not going to be a battery killer, you know that for sure, but still they might help you improve some battery life and actually get some proper usage of 2 or 3 hours more. That is actually commendable. So that's it guys, hope you guys like this video. Do let me know even these things are not working for you, then do let me know in the comment section below. I'll also check out for a couple of more things that you can do. A sub would be really appreciated. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.